Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second virtual Tai Chi Thursday series brought to you by ARP in Houston. My name is Simone Olivier. I'm the director of Four Dragons Tai Chi here in Houston. And every Thursday at 10:30, we will be continuing our Tai Chi for Health here on the AARP Texas Facebook page. So let's go ahead and continue with our practice. Let's start by connecting with our breath. So today we're actually going to start seated so that we can really get connected with our breath and allow ourselves to relax. And then we're going to warm up the body and go ahead and move into our Tai Chi practice because we have a lot to cover today. So find a seat. And when you sit in your seat, make sure that your back is free and open, and not resting against a chair if that's possible for you. So move towards the center of your seat. Bring your feet flat to the floor. Bring your hands to your knees. Reach down through your spine, moving into that upright posture. You're going to possibly be leaning forward just slightly to have the hands on the knees, but lengthen up through the spine, up through the crown, and out through the tailbone. Let the navel press back towards the spine. And it's just a gentle pressing or releasing back towards the spine. We want the abdomen to be free of tension. And we're going to go over the 6 qualities of natural breathing. So the first quality of the breath is that the breath is slow. And so we just want to allow the breath to become slower, slowing down the inhale. And then slowing down the exhale. You can close your eyes to allow your vision to move inwards to focus on the breath. And now that we've allowed the breath to slow down, let the breath become longer. The inhalation and exhalation grow in length. Allowing you to take a fuller breath. And as the breath grows longer, we allow the breath to move deeper down into the body, feeling the lower abdomen and the lower back expand on inhalation and gently contract on the exhalation. So visualizing the breath moving in and down through the body, and then exhaling up and out. And now that the breath is long, slow, and deep, allow the breath to become even. The inhalation and the exhalation are now even, meaning that we're not favoring the inhalation or favoring the exhalation or putting more emphasis on either one, but just allowing them to be symmetrical and even. And now that the breath is long, slow, deep, and even, allow your breath to become smooth or fine versus being choppy. If you can think of a lake with the wind blowing, it blows up the ripples of waves in the lake. And we just allow the breath to be so fine and smooth that the lake can become flat and still. And now that the breath is slow, long, deep, even, and smooth, we now just allow the breath to become supple, natural, regulated, rhythmic breath. We can open our eyes as we continue with this natural breathing as we move through our warm-up. Let's take our hands together, rub them together, getting the hands warm. Taking in a long, slow, deep breath. And exhale fully and completely. Take your warm hands and rub in between the rib cage and the hips, along the lower back. Allowing the warmth of your hands to sink into the kidneys, into the lower back area, releasing tense muscles. Sometimes this area of the body can be cold, and that coldness causes contraction. And so when we put our warm hands close to the kidneys, it's like turning it into a spa, a jacuzzi, a warm hot bath. And take another few long, slow, deep breaths. Warm your hands up again. And bring your hands to your knees. Warming up the knees. The knees tend to be cold because there's not a lot of muscle or tissue or blood flow to this area. It's more bony and tendinous. And that's just the way we are built. Reverse the circles around your knees. And so bringing some warmth helps to loosen up the muscles, the tendons and ligaments in the areas that we can. Move through our Tai Chi with greater ease and less discomfort if there's any. All right, and relax. We're going to take our feet out, flexing and pointing. Three times, and then rest. Other side, flex and point. And relax. And circle. And reverse. And relax. Other side, sitting up nice and tall as we make our foot circles, drawing a circle with your toes, and then erasing the circle. And bring your foot flat, take your heel to the floor and reach through the heel, pulling the toes back, getting a nice stretch in the back of the leg, maybe in the calf, the Achilles heel, maybe even into the hamstrings. And then we're going to rock our foot left and right. If you can see my foot, I turn my toes in and out. And this is really good for massaging any tight muscles deep in the hip, for stretching and strengthening the outer hip, making sure that we have a greater range of motion throughout the hip socket. And relax. Take your other heel out, sit up tall, pull your toes back towards your knee, and rotate toes in and out. When we rotate in, we really feel that stretch in the back of the hip and the side hip. And bring your feet back even. Take your hands, rub them together again one more time. We're going to go down the legs. Get them warmed up. Take the hands to the side of your waist. Exhale as you go down the outside, maybe to just to the knee, maybe to the ankle, and then come up the inside of the legs. Go down only as far as you feel comfortable. Press your feet against the floor to strengthen the spine and to help you rise up. So you're using your legs instead of your back. And then we're going to go down, both hands, down the outside of one leg, up the inside, down the outside of the other leg, up the inside. Be sure not to overstretch, only go down as far as you can and work your way down a little bit further each time. Building that trust with your own body so that it can feel comfortable throughout the practice. Hands to the lower abdomen. Let's go back to our natural breathing in case we forgot. With your hands below your navel, you can feel the belly expand. Feel it expand into the lower back on the inhale and let it gently collapse on the exhale. All right, so now we've prepared ourselves for standing. Let's come up onto your feet. If that's possible for you, we're going to continue with a few more warm-up exercises to stretch the spine and to work on balance. So let's start by taking a few deep breaths. Turn your toes out just slightly. Inhale. Feel your feet grounding down into the earth. Hands pulling down energy from the heavens. Knees soft. Back relaxed and lengthened. And for most of us here in Texas, we were luckily able to avoid the major issues associated with the Hurricane Laura. And for any of those who are dealing with that, we send our thoughts and hearts with you. And like the eye of the hurricane, we want to be the stillness within all of the movement. We want to be the center, the calm of the storm, and be unmoved from the center, letting seemingly chaos spin and whirl all around us, but we are unscathed. All right, so let's warm up the spine. Turn your toes forward, bend your knees, bring your hands together. We're going to inhale the arms up. And exhale, hands together, bend the knees, folding forward just slightly, long spine, palms press up, and then we flip the hands at the wrist and release. Inhale up. Reach up through the spine, exhale down. We bend the knees, and when the hands go up, the knees, back of the knees open without locking the knees. We just open the back of the knees and then bend. Coming up. And exhale down. And coming back to center. Now we're going to flex our spine side to side. We're going to make 2 gentle fists. Inhale. Elbows in towards the navel. Exhale, up and out to the side. Side stretching. Getting into the side body. Getting down into that hip, outer hip. Inhale. Up and out to the other side. One more on each side. And coming back up to center. And now we're going to work on balance. So we're going to take our 2 fists in front and we're going to inhale. If you want to watch first, as you exhale, we're going to shift our weight and bring one arm up, opposite leg into an empty stance. As we do this, as you stand here in this empty stance, you want to pull all of the energy in towards the midline and then lengthen it out. So you're driving down to lift up. All right, so let's try that. Inhale. Exhale. Lengthen through the whole body. Inhale. Exhale. Feeling heavy, feeling light. Let your eyes find a spot to focus. Bringing all of your energy, all of your mind, all of your body to pull in towards the core, in towards the center. And one more on each side. Good. And coming back to center and release down. All right, shake out your legs. Rocking your knees forward and back, shaking it out. Shaking left and right. Sort of agitating the body a little bit to loosen up the muscles. And come back to center, 3 deep breaths. All right, so let's get started on the second part, actually the last section of our Tai Chi for Health form. And just to remind everybody, we are going to be going over brush knee, play the lute, peri-peri punch, and push the mountain. So today we're going to be focusing on peri-peri punch and push the mountain. But if you'd like to watch the whole sequence, feel free to do so right now. We begin with an open close. Nice, deep, natural breath. Shift the weight, hook step. Spear fingers, post, step with the heel, brush knee, follow step. Remembering our follow step, our trailing leg is empty of weight, all our weight in the front leg. Then we step back, hands turn inwards, and we play the lute. Then peri-peri punch, we turn out and our hands flip. So hands and feet turn, we strike under. Hands and feet turn, we strike under. And then we step forward with a straight foot. We block, punch with a follow step. Push the mountain, we step back, roll back, step on an empty stance, and then step forward, follow step, pushing forward. Then we turn towards the front. Your heel is down, toes turn forward, heel down, toes turn forward, and we're back to open close. And this closes out the section. And for those of you who have been following this series, this is the second half. So we've already learned how to do it going in this direction, and then we turn and we go back the other direction. And so that's what we're working on. And hopefully today we will do both there and back. All right, so let's just start with the end of play the lute so that we can work on our peri-peri punch. So your hand that's closest to the camera will be back towards the navel. Your back leg is going to be bent. You want to be open up towards your camera or towards your screen. Palms facing each other as if you were holding a disc in place along the midline of your body. Lengthen up through your spine. And we have an empty stance, ball of the foot resting on the floor. Let's work on just the footwork for Peri-Peri punch. We're going to bring the heel down where the toes were and turn the foot out just slightly. Shift the weight into a bow stance, knees and toes pointing out at the diagonal. And then take your heel forward, turn your toes out, shift the weight, Peri, and then step forward, toes straight forward into a bow stance, follow step. And to check your back weighted foot, make sure that it's not weighted, that it's empty. You can easily pick your foot up to step back. Okay, let's try that again. Relax your legs, shake them out. Starting at the end of play the lute in an empty stance. Nice long spine. Heel, turn, shift the weight. Heel, turn, shift the weight. Heel, toes forward, shift the weight, follow step. One more time, just the footwork. This is, the one movement that has the most movement in it. Therefore, it's going to be one of the more challenging of the movements. So be patient with yourself. Take your time. Go slow and let the movement sink into the body. Here we go. End of play the lute. Turn out. Peri. Turn out. Peri. Step forward. Follow step. All right, now let's try it with the arm work. Let's go over the arm work just by itself, starting with your hands here. And so they're about chest height, a little bit between the chest and the navel. And we rotate. So I go from palm facing out to palm facing down. The inner hand, palm facing out to palm facing up. And then they glide underneath and pull back. Then I flip, glide underneath, and then make a fist. My forearm is at a 90-degree angle to my body, parallel with my chest, and my backhand is striking forward, wrist over wrist. So it's not a full extension and definitely not a locked out, more of a bend in the elbow here. Let's try that again. Nice long spine, soft knees in your stance. Palms facing out, and then they flip, strike under. Flip, strike under. Block, punch. Again, relax. End of play the lute. Peri, Peri, punch. One more time. It's a little bit faster. And begin. Peri, peri, punch. One more time at this pace. Sometimes when we speed up a little bit, we kind of forget what's coming next, and we stumble a little bit with our movements. End of play the lute. Peri, peri, punch. All right, and release. Arms down. Now let's put that together with the footwork. Starting at the end of play the lute. Nice long spine. We turn out. Peri. Turn out. Peri. And punch. Follow step. Relax. Let's try that again 2 more times, putting it all together. If you're ever worried, oh, I didn't get it, don't worry. There is always a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth try, and always another chance to improve. Begin. Peri. Peri. Punch. And last time. Remember your natural breathing. Sometimes when the body starts moving, all the body parts start moving, we forget about the breath. When we forget about the breath, we invite more tension to enter into the practice. We want to stave off the tension and keep ourselves in that relaxed state of mind and a relaxed body. So find your breath. Find your stance, your empty stance, and on the exhale, begin. And relax. All right, now from the end of Peri-Peri punch, we're in our follow step. We go into push the mountain. We step back, our hands roll back, and we push forward. All right, so let's try that movement, a little bit more simpler movement. Let's work on just the footwork, hands on the hips, front weighted, empty follow step, long spine. Bring those ears back over the shoulders. Open up the front of the chest. And keeping the back open as well. Step back. Keeping the hips low and even. Empty stance. Step forward. Stay low and even. Follow step. We're just going to repeat this 3 times. Step back. And our foot is turned out just slightly. Empty stance. Heel, hip, shoulder aligned. Step forward. Follow step. Step back. Empty stance. Step forward. Follow step. One more time. Step back. Empty stance. Step forward. Follow step. Good. Now, let's practice the arm work. Shake out your legs. And now we're going to do a roll back and turn to the side so you can see me. So we start here at the end of Peri-Peri punch. And we open the hands. Our wrists are still one over the other, and we split the wrist apart, right? So this can be a blocking movement here, and then we Roll the wrists back in towards the shoulders, down towards the bottom of the rib cage, and then forward. Here, forearms are parallel with the floor, parallel with the feet, and our hands are as if you were going to grab somebody by their hips and push them forward, or grab them by their waist or somewhere in the middle of the body, and we're going to push forward. Or you can think of pushing a piece of furniture, right? How are you going to push it, right? So end of peri-peri punch. We open the hands, uncross, roll back, down, and forward. Again. Nice, long, slow, deep breath. And again. All right, let's put that together with the footwork. So we're at the end of peri-peri punch. We have our follow step, so we can step back on the back foot. And we step back, roll back, empty stance, step forward, follow step, push forward. Making sure that your elbows stay bent. And this is a very strong position. So we can actually do a breathing exercise that incorporates this. We can inhale, palms up, exhale, palms out. Making the ha sound. Inhale. And relax. Inhale. And exhale, push down. All right, so let's go over peri-peri punch and push the mountain, putting them together. End of play the lute. And begin. Peri, peri, punch, roll back, push the mountain. Let's try that again. Peri, peri, punch, push the mountain. And again, one more time. After we push the mountain, we just turn towards the front for an open close. And peri, stay low. Peri, punch, stay low, step back, roll back. So we keep that slightly lowered stance. And let's turn to the front. That slightly lowered stance helps us to keep our mind and body even, centered, and focused. And relax. All right, so that is Our session for today, we're going to close with a short meditation. And next week, we're going to try to work our way there and back, completing the entire second half of the form of Tai Chi for health. All right, so let's go ahead and grab a chair or an ottoman or a stool, whatever you have available close by. Bring your hands together. Rub them. Bring your hands to your lower back and kidneys. Breathe down into the space behind, in front of your hands. Take your hands together, warm them up again. Warm hands to your knees. And reverse. And leaving your hands on your knees, this makes a connection between the heart and the kidneys. So your hands are on your knees, and it sends that warm energy up towards the kidneys, up towards the heart, back down to the knees, creating this circuit within the body of energy. Lengthen the spine. Come back to your natural breathing. Breathe into your heart. Let the warmth of your heart sink down towards your kidneys. And allowing some of the water or the steam from the kidneys rise up to nourish the heart. Even if you don't have any sensations in the body of this, maybe you feel more relaxed. Maybe you feel more centered and settled in your body. Maybe you're just noticing your breath. Maybe you notice some tension releasing. Just visualizing this beautiful circuit of circulation between your heart and your lower body, your kidneys. And if you do this at a minimum of 2 minutes a day, 2 minutes, maybe 2-3 times a day, you might notice that you have more energy, more vitality, and a better, more positive outlook on life. And that is our class for today. Thank you so much for joining me for Tai Chi for Health. It is such a pleasure and honor to teach all of you. I hope that you will join us again as we continue on with our third series. And there's more information about that coming to you soon. And until next time, Dao On, wishing you peace on your path.